Winning Edge Investments. I hope you were winning last weekend thanks to them. Winning Edge Investments. Treat betting like a business. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858. And Dean Evans, on behalf of our SEN track listeners, thanks for In the Congo, getting the money last
In the Congo.
in the San Domenico. Well done to you, mate.
Yeah, nice little result to kick things off, and I think we were around $12 or so when we spoke about it last week. So hopefully your listeners got a bit of a padding to start to spring off in the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Got into around $7, by the way. It won. Interesting, Dean, we've been talking this morning in our Track Talk segment with Simon Dinopoulos and Brad Gray around the Everest and who deserves a slot. Well, the Concord Stakes this weekend is the race, isn't it? Nature Strip comes back, and are there going to be any other horses that are going to be pressing the favourite for the Everest?
Yeah, well, I think there's probably three horses in this race that are potential Everest types. You've got Nature Strip, who's definitely going to run and likely going to run as favourite. You've got Trekking, who looks at the moment like the Godolphin Seed, who's run it a couple of times and run well. And then you've got Wild Ruler, who's auditioning for the race. And I think that's what makes the race interesting, is it'll definitely be trying to go out there and see if it can get itself a slot as well.
Had a recent trial, Wild Ruler there at Hawkesbury. I think was Trekking in that same trial?
Yeah, it was. And they ran really quick time. They ran 9 lengths above par there. None of them were under too much pressure, but Wild Ruler sort of just set off the speed a bit and ran past Trekking and beat it by about half a length in good time. I think that was a pretty good performance. Wild Ruler has a very good fresh up record. It's won both the Fireball and the Heritage first up, and won 3 from 4, plus the English Nursery on debut. So fresh up is its go. It always trials well, but that trial and time was probably as well as it's gone. And I think there's just an opportunity there with Wild Ruler in this race. When you sort of look at the profile and Nature Strip, as we know, Waller's sort of changed the training with this horse, and he really targets the big events, and that's where he sort of won the TJ Smith a couple of times. But Nature Smith's sort of record over 1,000 metres at Randwick, in his last 4 runs, he's won once and been beaten 3 times, and all of those times is sort of short odds-on favourites. So the fact is that when it comes to Nature Strip, although he certainly deserves to be right on top of Everest calculations at this stage, it's an interesting little race because his first up record is a mixed bag, and that presents opportunities for something to potentially run him down on the day.
Well, Wild Ruler's never been out of the money first up. 4 first up runs for 3 wins and a second. So that tells us that, his overall record is pretty encouraging as well. But he does like to get out there and complete the job. He's right now at about $5 in the Concord.
Yeah, and I think that's a nice price. I just think there's just no way that you can take $1.50 about Nature Strip. And Nature Strip trialled really well. He sort of ran 3 lengths above par overall. They were 7.6 lengths above par for the last sectional. He sort of ran the quickest last 600 to 200 metre sectional in particular. So the horse is going well, and he did win the Lightning first up last prep. But I just get the impression with him, it's always interesting, these 1,000 metre races. The map could just be a little bit messy. You've got Adelong, who likes to push forward. Star Boy's coming up a long break, but it tends to sort of go handlebars down. Wild Ruler is usually best when it sits outside the leader and sort of just pounces in the straight. There's a bit of speed there, and then you've got Nature Strip, who clearly is not going to be wanting to be bustled early on. So I just wonder what's going to happen there, right? He obviously likes to dominate and lead, and the times that he's sort of been beaten in races like the Concord previously, where he has run in the last 2 years and been beaten both times. Both times he sort of was restrained, didn't get to dominate. It all got a bit messy, and he was able to be beaten. And it just, again, we've got exact similar type of profile today, on Saturday, where, he's $1.50 and it could get a bit messy. And you've got, I think, 2 opportunities. You've got Wild Ruler, who could just sort of sit outside the leader, Stride Pass with his excellent fresh record and win at $5, or you've even got a horse like Trekking who, although he's not really a 1,000-metre type, and has bigger fish to fry down the line. If you have all of these horses, Adelong, Starboy, Wild Ruler, and Nature Strip going a bit silly, then he's clearly the one who's going to be swooping home over the top of them.
Lots of intrigue in the Concord. I love the Furious Stakes makeup. Larkspur Run and Love Me Tender are the early scratchings. 4 moves ahead, they've already stated that they'll go back from that draw. How do you see this